How do you see the demand environment shaping up for the commodity?
Thank you for having me. And look, it is obviously, I think 2023 has not shaped up as people had expected in terms of EV penetration. But we still remain very bullish in terms of EV growth. And what we are seeing is we've seen a price reset in terms of the production costs of nickel. And lower nickel prices will ultimately assist EV makers in terms of bringing down the cost of their electric vehicles, which I think is what what most of them are grappling with. We sit right down at the very bottom end of the cost curve. So even in a challenging cost environment, which we have just come through, as you pointed out, our margins are still very robust, and we do see, looking forward, we see continued good demand for stainless steel, and we believe that there will be additional strong demand coming out of India. And we're also seeing an increase in demand for nickel in alloys, particularly in the space and aeronautical industry, in geothermal projects, in wind turbines, for example. So we remain very optimistic of the nickel price outlook. And what you've seen with that reset, you've seen a lot of the high cost producers come out of the market. And in our view, they're yet to be replaced by some of the production that's coming out of Indonesia.
Yeah, Justin, I do want to pick up on the production coming out of Indonesia. I mean, how are you looking at the China demand story? Because I know that markets like Indonesia have a bit of a China problem because they're obviously servicing, as you mentioned, all that demand with regards to EVs. But China doesn't always, when it comes to some of their investments, want profitability. It just wants that stuff coming in so that they can make their EVs. And then on the flip side, there's this also kind of problem that they're facing with regards to Chinese investments and how that remains a bit of a challenge for trying to get on board with some of the US subsidies as well, given the geopolitics involved, which I know has been an opportunity for markets like Australia. So how are you watching the dynamics in China playing out for this market?
So we've really focused on transitioning the business from, historically, we've been a nickel pig iron producer, and the only market for nickel pig iron really is China, and we sell all of our product back into China for the stainless steel market there. But we've now recently transitioned into the Class 1 and intermediate market, and our focus is solely on everyone ex-China. And so we've been in discussions with groups from North America, Europe, Japan and Korea. We are building an HPAL plant where we will be the first majority Western-owned HPAL plant in Indonesia. And so we are transitioning away from being solely reliant on all of our nickel going back to China, and now focused on European and other Asian customers. And we are seeing a good response there, and certainly the demand